Hi, this is Theresa with One Inspiring Woman, and today we're talking about a little bitty small dwarf planet way out in the asteroid belt, but I guarantee you this little bitty planet affects more than you can imagine. So this little bitty planet, basically it's called a dwarf planet. It's way out there. It's kind of between like Mars and Jupiter, so way, way, way out there. It really doesn't really get close to Earth, but I guarantee you it affects all of us. Kind of its nickname is described as the Earth Mother because it kind of, Ceres rules over health, nutrition, agriculture, overall kind of like anything that's nourishing in our universe. It can be drawn back to Ceres. And this is really a great one because it's also kind of connected to female energy, feminine energy, all about motherhood and being that fierce energy. Have you ever heard about a mama bear? Yeah, that's what we're talking about. Kind of like that fierce, oh my gosh, energy coming at you. So it's talking about like that transition from like girl to womanhood, talking about like the changes that's coming up, but it's all about doing it in a very nourishing, very honoring way. And so this also talks about kind of responding in some amazing ways because Ceres also represents grief and loss, and even kind of responding to like the changes of love, because love is kind of the thing that kind of makes Mother Earth the best. Mother Earth has this amazing love energy. No matter what you do, Mother Earth is constantly in love with us. I mean, like, she puts up with so much of our crazy stuff. It is unbelievable. But I guarantee you this is all about kind of like earth energy kind of blooming and growing in this Ceres energy. And this is a great way to kind of bring in like that nutrition, the crops, the agriculture, kind of bringing all of that together. And one of the things I think is kind of one of those tricks is we kind of have like Hades energy out there with her that kind of like wants to destroy everything that she's nurturing. Anything she nurtures, Hades wants to destroy. And it's kind of like this yin yang of energy, but I guarantee you she rules out more times than she loses. This is amazing energy. And it's one of those, it's bringing forward kind of like this a loving energy constantly over and over and over again. And like I said, Ceres energy really affects kind of like the cycles, the loss, return, kind of like the winter, summer, kind of flipping out, the cycles of loss and return, relationships kind of coming and going, self-nurturing, taking care of ourselves. All of that is kind of wrapped up in that little planet, kind of nicknamed the Earth Mother. And this is going to bring in a great energy for us. Now, kind of the paradox is that it's one of those, this Ceres energy has like this parent energy, this female goddess warrior of kind of like, I'm going to dominate, I'm going to tell you what to do, I'm going to keep my family safe and protected. But it also has this aspect of being a child and kind of like, what do I want to teach everybody? What do I want to learn? And how do I want to physically, emotionally, and spiritually show up in my world? So this brings in, like I said, a very holistic, very kind of confusing at times energy. Now, depending on what sign Ceres is in, it can change how we work with things. And so kind of every time Ceres comes in, she's in there in a different sign, just like all the other planets. As she moves around, she moves into different planetary energies. And so that just kind of amplifies or de-amplifies things around her. And this is really important, not only for us, but for us to understand how she affects us. So if you were to say Ceres is in Aries energy, that would be about being active and moving things up, like playing games like sports and soccer and football and baseball and all those kind of things, especially when it involves like the healthy dose of competition and independence. Like, we're all playing together on a team, but we're playing against someone else. Like, we're together and they're together. All of this amazing energy. Now, Ceres in the sign of Taurus is all about nurturing and feeding our senses and kind of like that earth energy, that connection to kind of like the earthly stuff. Eating good food, kind of eating like oranges and apples and kind of dripping down those juices, kind of like, yes, we've got this. And all of this really cultivating a pleasure sensation of just like, yes, we've got this energy. Now, Ceres in the sign of Gemini is enhancing our curiosity. Where do we want to go with this? reading books and kind of like what's coming up next, kind of looking at documentaries. How can I expand my knowledge? How can I expand my education? How can I just do things to amplify my energy? Now, Ceres in the sign of Cancer is all about culture of creation of comforts, kind of cultivating like that creation of like comfort, being at home, cooking at home, those practices of kind of like naming what I want, the stability, the connection, all of those kind of connected to like home and hearth and bringing in kind of that amazing energy for us. Now, I will say Ceres in the sign of Leo is more about joy and self-expression and kind of that creativity. How am I going to show myself to the world? How am I going to create my energy in the world or make my thumbprint on the world? How am I going to make things change? And this is really simply about kind of like soothing our energy, and kind of that Leo energy usually happens like in the sun and kind of like allowing ourselves to kind of have that limelight on us, kind of that energy for us. So now let's talk about Ceres in Virgo. This is really keeping in order with day-to-day life and kind of staying organized and offering our senses into inner care and kind of sometimes over communicating or communicating what we really require. Sometimes we are talking about things and then sometimes we're really talking about what we need, and sometimes we mix those two up, but this is kind of like letting us know either one is good, but we really have to be clear about what we really desire in our lives. Next, let's talk about Ceres in the sign of Libra. And this is about feeding us in ways that connect us with beauty and art and like our creation and our awakening of our creative side. And how are we going to create things in our world? How are we going to bring this out into the world? How is our creative heart going to be shown in the world? This is a really amazing energy. Next, let's talk about Ceres in the sign of Scorpio. This is really a psychological kind of interest, like what's really interesting. Where is your brain taking you? What do you want to look at? Where do you want to go? This can bring us to some vulnerability and connecting us to kind of like some soul work of exploring our requirements and our emotional depths in changing what's around us. Next, let's talk about Ceres in the sign of Sagittarius. This is all about vision and philosophy and kind of bringing down your own center of gravity, as well as like vacation and taking that time or that step back away from everybody else and kind of like expanding our horizons. Like, what else do we want to go? And kind of checking into the energy in different parts of the world. Next, let's talk about Ceres in the sign of Capricorn. This is a sense of like inner authority and commitment and stabilizing and really kind of bringing out our own kind of caretaking nature, kind of like how are we going to bring that kind of that warrior mother energy out for us. This is a really good one. Next, let's talk about Ceres in the sign of Aquarius. This is like individuality and kind of like changing our expression, our uniqueness of kind of like what are my unique gifts that I can bring into the world? What are the unique gifts that I can give the world that no one else can give? What are those gifts? What are those things that can bring like a chance at like starting something new and kind of like different individually? What can I bring? What can I personally bring? What can you personally bring into the world and bring this into a new kind of like way of kind of helping our world move forward? The last one is Ceres in the sign of Pisces. And this is all about meditating and music and finding that harmony and that flow and finding ways to flow in through things that kind of really keep us kind of like moving forward in flow, in flex, and really amazingly give us some special energies and some special insights into what's going on around us. Okay, so let's do some angel cards and get us a little bit more information about Ceres and kind of like this nurturing feminine mother energy. This one's popping out, and this one's all about forgiveness. One of the things that moms usually do is they forgive and they forget. That's kind of what we do. But I will tell you, that is a goddess warrior energy. Giving up on something that hasn't worked out or forgiving someone who's really hurt us is really that divine, strong mother energy for us and can bring in some amazing energies for us. Next, this is all about celebration. Ceres is all about celebrating our divine energy. And even if you are a male, you still have that feminine touch inside of you. You have that nurturing nature inside of you. And this is all about kind of like that invisible side of kind of like shaping our world, and kind of being the protector, for Mother Earth, being a protector for your family, being a protector for your life. That can be a very amazing energy. Next, let's go into basically our warrior. Our Archangel Michael is all about this warrior energy, and he works well with Ceres energy. And this is all about kind of like the depth of love. He loves us so much that he's going to keep us protected. All we have to do is call on him. Every time he's around us, he is bringing in amazing energy and changes for us. Our last one is all about body care. Of course, it's about body care. Females love taking care of each other. They love taking care of others. I don't want to say like love it, but it's one of those, it's kind of like who we are. We bring that energy to the table all the time, and we nurture our friends, our family, our parents, our siblings, all of those things, all of our lives. And this is a great motherhood spectrum energy of kind of like bringing in this full cycle as we move from childhood into goddess warrior, kind of into motherhood, and bringing all of that warrior energy, that feminine, strong warrior energy into our world. I thank you so much for joining me today, and I know that we'll be talking again soon.